This is Provo River in Utah. It's early April, and my friend Dan has a trout on right now. We're fishing below Deer Creek Reservoir, and the water's wadeable this time of year. Now's the time to get on the lower Provo, we call it, below Deer Creek, when the water flows are wadeable. If you wait until they release the irrigation water, which will be when it starts to get warm, then it's really tough wading down here. You can run it in a boat, but like I say, now's the time. Get them in the early spring. Dan's playing this fish in. We're fishing in the middle of the day, and there's a blueing olive hatch. Not much though. It's a sparse hatch, but the fish enough that the fish are turned on by it. We're catching brown trout in this section. They're almost always all big down here. There's a special regulation down here, you know, if they're over 15 inches, you know, you're putting them back. So, you know, now I've got one on here. We hooked a lot of fish today. We lost some because we're using tiny flies. We're using size 20 flies because the fish are taking midge pupas, and they're taking a few blueing olive nymphs and bluing olive adults. But they're all the insects that they're taking are small. And the minnows are not a factor in this water here. These fish they're insect eaters. Well, they eat crustaceans like saltbucks and stuff. There's another one, about 17 inches long, brown trout. Dan's got one here. I'm showing this fish after fish because that's what we did, fish after fish. As a matter of fact, I would film Dan doing something and then go try to put the cap back on the camera, and he'd catch another one. So he wore me out. And so I finally decided that I needed to get out there more. Got another one. They're not cookie cutter fish, but they're all, you know, they're all over 15 inches, some up to 17 or 18 inches. There's rainbows in here. We would love to catch a rainbow, but we're not catching one. Actually, I had a couple on, and they took off like demons and pulled loose with those tiny hooks. We usually fish saltbugs in this section, but later in the year, saltbugs weren't very good today. We tried them. They wanted little tiny midges, or midge pupas and bluewings. The bluewing hatch wasn't very long. It was only about an hour or two in the afternoon, and then there was some sporadic after that. Dan's got another one. Can't horse these fish in on tiny flies. Water's down this beautiful and clear. There's another one about the same. Dan has been known to quit and say, well, this is too easy. You know, he catches too many. In this particular case, these fish are big enough and fighting hard enough that I guess he still feels challenged. If he catches too many easy, he said, I'm not learning anything. He said, let's do something else. I don't know what to tell you. I never get tired of catching them myself. Hard to land them in this current with the small hooks. You have to play them till they're tired, and then get them on top and kind of scoot them in on the top. When they're down, putting their side to the current, they're hard to bring in. You just have to wait. There's another one. Now we're not bragging here, but we're showing this is real. This is the real deal. We fished like I think 3 hours, and it was like from 12 to 3 or something like that. And so And this is not all the fish that we hooked or even landed. It's just the ones we recorded. So I want you guys to be enthused and get in there, get down there. By the way, we had this hole to ourselves. Basically, there was 2 other anglers that came along for a while, and then one later, but it was not crowded. Why wait for summer? You know, get out there when there aren't so many people. Bringing this one in. Another big brown. Relatively speaking, you know, for this stream, these are big fish. They're not monsters, but they know how to fight. Yeah, this is a little bit bigger than the other. This is about 18 inches. Now, we were fishing with bounce rigs, but now the blue wings are hatching, and so I'm fishing a dry fly here. I'm fishing a tiny little no-see-em, Bill Bayer's little no-see-em. And then the one I've got on here is like a 22, and they were coming up and taking them. Got my little 7.5 foot rod there. Got a Hardy LRH on there. So I have to be careful. It just has a click, so it doesn't have a regular drag. So I love to fish with that reel. It sings when they run. I'm using my tippet on I've got about a 9 foot leader with 4 pound tippet on the end of it, and so it's total length of about 12 feet. Not casting very far though. These trout are rising close by. I hooked 2 or 3 with just barely the leader out. These fish know what people look like. They just ignore you. It's frustrating sometimes. Need to get them out of the current into the slow water, then you can land them. Yeah, this one was caught on that light dry fly rig. That was way fun to see him come up. I'm telling you what. Or her. Maybe it's her. Got another one on there. Same deal. They were rising in close there in shallow water. You know, basically where I was standing. Lost that one. Now, here's a rainbow of another fellow caught. I wanted to show you a rainbow. Dan and I didn't catch a rainbow that day. It's our fault. This guy, so we're going to show what he caught. Nice rainbow.